Hello and welcome to Fucking Reality Queens. I'm Amelia.
And I'm Sarah.
And it's bullshit day.
Or maybe it's a day of recaps.
So grab whatever your vice is and let's get the show started.
It's Wednesday recap. Wild, wild Wednesday.
Woo-woo.
We're just covering MAFS and MAFS today because there is a lot of shit to discuss.
Oh, God, yes. Holy shit.
Wow.
I don't know. You sent me a message last night.
Yep.
That had my head like going, wow. First off, I don't like Dominique.
Right.
I don't
None
like
of us
her.
do.
Don't like
None
her.
of us do.
And the little stuff that I didn't even go in and read the article about, I'm going to say it, Dominique and Clint.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't picture that. I just can't picture it. So it's,
either.
Did you see a photo?
No. I was looking to see, to let our listeners know what the fuck we're talking about, because we kind of jumped in the middle of a conversation here.
That's fine.
I was looking to see how long they have after decision day to move, because this recurring thing with Nicole about we need to make a decision. We need to make a decision. We need to make a decision. Made me wonder, do they have to get out that day? Do they have a week? Do they have, how much time are we talking about here? And in my search, I came across an article that alluded to the fact that there has been, I'm guessing it was photographic evidence of Dominique and Clint kissing, and that shocked the shit out of me because I just can't see it. Now, I have heard other people say this, that they could see them together, and
why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I cannot.
Not at all. I mean, there is no part of her that I can see with a person like Clint. Not at all. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And it was a tabloid, article, and there was a lot of things in this article that were questionable in my mind. I don't know how much of it is true and how much of it was just rumor mill, but at any rate, I don't like that idea. I don't either at all. It's terrible how much I dislike this girl, but I really don't care for her.
I don't either. I don't either. I don't. And I actually used to not like Clint, even called him Clint. And now I actually like him.
I like him a lot.
And so it's I definitely don't want to see him with her.
No, exactly. That's because exactly it.
Her behavior and her manners and how she was at the very beginning of the season just was so off-putting.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I agree.
She did herself in. And it doesn't help. Sorry to interrupt. It doesn't even help that the streaming thing that I watch it on keeps replaying the clip of her going, his name is, that just solidifies how much I can't stand her. Anyway,
right.
Say what you're going to say. How annoying.
Yeah, it is. It's a weekly reminder. Well, and even this whole talk of Mac and Gina potentially, he's expressed that he would have an interest in Gina. And that's what I can't see either. I have said it from the beginning. If he was going to be with anyone post show, I would like for it to be Jasmine. I think that they are better suited. And I know that Mac and Gina are both, entrepreneurs and, have that type of thing going. But I don't see her being interested in him any more than she is interested in Clint. I think Mac has got a different, well, we know he does. He's got a different personality in a very different way than Clint does, that she also would not get. She would not get his humor at all.
No.
At all.
No.
If she doesn't get Clint and his boisterous humor, she's definitely not going to get Mac's bizarre, because he really does have a bizarre way of communication. I've said it 1,000 times. It's just like my husband's, and it is weird. I mean, it's weird. You definitely have to understand him.
Well, I could see her, a person I could see her with would be one of our dark Arabian Night kind of guys. I mean, tall, dark haired, that, I'm trying to think of, I just can't even put it into words, but that just, I don't know. His pheromones are in my mind floating around, I know what kind of guy, just a very, almost like the guy that, what is his name that on Stacy and Darcy?
What is his name? Oh my gosh, the guy that she's Seth. Is it Seth? No, it's not Seth.
Not Seth. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy the most recent guy that she's dating.
I could totally see him with Gina.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Because I could see her with that type of man.
Well, not just that, him actually. I could see her with him. Oh my God, I could totally. So it's like, we need to take characters or people from one show and like merge them with another.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to get to it, but I feel a little hypocritical in saying I can see this one with that one and that one with this one and this and that and the other. But then I have such strong feelings about what's going on in the UK to the opposite end of the spectrum. But there's reasons why. So we'll get there. I'm really not a hypocrite. It's just the way things go down matters.
No. And I think this is different though. When we will get to that, I think it's a different thing and different scenario and everything else. So
yeah, it just because they're both fruits doesn't necessarily mean that they're the same. So
yeah, exactly. All right. So who do you want to start with about this episode?
I tell you what, let's just kind of start at the top, I guess. The fact that Clint was so caught off guard by Gina's comments from last week. And it's kind of where we started out. They've got their date at the ranch. I'm glad that he brought those things up to her and that he seemed to be okay with her responses, the way that she explained it and stuff. He did seem to be okay with it. He seemed to receive it pretty well. I don't know that I would have necessarily. I don't know that I would have.
No.
She really, I don't know. She really did kind of blindside him. These are not things that she has said to him. She has said it to everybody else.
Yeah.
She said it to absolutely everybody else. And I don't understand her in a lot of ways. Oh yeah, you're the life of the party and you're the this and you're that and the other. And that's not for me.
It's like, what do you want?
Right. That's it. That's what really it. What do you want?
Because you obviously did not tell the people on the producers or the doctors or anybody else what you actually really want.
Right. Throughout this whole thing, she's not said this is not the type of thing I want. What I am looking for is X. Not one time. I mean, I don't feel like
she hasn't even given him direction. She hadn't even given him any kind of direction of where to go, where to potentially shine. Because there may be attributes that he has that falls within that realm, but he is not really exhibiting at this time.
Right.
Because he doesn't know to. He doesn't know that these are the type of things that he should emphasize about himself to initiate and trigger whatever within the relationship. So
I agree. I absolutely agree. Because I do think there's a lot more to him than what she's seeing. I think they've both been extremely reserved. And had she, put forth a little more effort, she complains about it, but yet doesn't give him anything to go on. And that I don't feel like that's fair. I don't feel like that's fair to him at all. Well, her either, I mean, she's not really given it as much as she could have. I'm a little bit surprised that she has said a couple of things that allude to the fact that she might be willing to continue to see where they grow to. Like when they were sitting there, she was saying, I just got to reflect back on all the growth that we have had and, kind of see where we end up. And I don't know. I don't know, Gina. What are you gonna what conclusion are you gonna come to here?
Damn it, Gina!
Damn it, Gina! Exactly.
Damn it, Gina. We don't know. Where are we going?
Where are we going from here?
She spends 90% of her time on the episodes, like drawn up into a ball on a chair.
Yes.
And just. She gets this look on her face also. It's like, I don't know. Poking her lips out a little extra too. It's like, okay, honey, you're looking like you just had some Botox done. And she may not have, but she's like, I don't know. Like nobody
Filler,
can see it. Nobody can see the look I'm making, but she's like literally always sitting there just
Yeah,
in a
lips
ball.
pursed, looking like,
Yeah.
I don't know, condescending. I don't know. I don't know if it's condescending or something else, but whatever it is, I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't like it.
And I
It's
used
not
to
very
like
open.
Gina.
I
used to like
did.
Gina, and I'm not real big
I loved her in the
fan. It's like,
beginning.
why? It's like she just closed herself off
Yeah.
completely. So
She really did. She really, really did. Okay. What about Shaq and Kristen going and having the song made? I was cracking up.
God love you, girl, but you are tone deaf.
Tone deaf.
I was like, oh my goodness. So when she went to go sing, I don't know why, but for some reason, okay, here I am stereotyping.
Mm-hmm.
I envisioned, especially because she comes from a very religious background, and
Mm-hmm.
most of the Black community have a very vocal singing, all up in church, hallelujah.
Yeah, very big charismatic.
Very, very charismatic. And I expected her to almost like pop off with like choir girl, like voice, like she was gonna bust out something soulful sound, and then she's like,
I was shocked that she couldn't sing. I was shocked that she could not sing because she looks like she could, and she loves music so much.
That's what I really thought. I'm stereotyping.
Yep, I thought for sure,
like
even if she wasn't great, that she could at least kind of carry a tune. But no, it was awful, and I was cracking up at the way Shaq was looking at her because he's like, "You go," like you could tell she was into it, but he's just like,
"Oh
yeah." Shaking his head.
And I was sitting there laughing because all I can think of is that song, "You Got What I Need."
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You say he's just a friend. And I'm singing it like he would. How that guy is. Oh, baby, yeah. That's totally how she sound.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh
God
my
love
God.
ya. And you go, girl, for doing it.
I know.
I mean, like, I'm
honestly,
not trying to knock down. I'm just
not at
saying.
all. She had a great time. She gave it her. She sang out. She didn't care. Like, I have respect.
Thank God for auto tuning, because know that professional had to have tweaked.
Okay, well, that brings something up in my mind. So, the ability to just sit down with a couple and put a song together like that
amazing.
So quickly. It makes me wonder if she's not using AI. It makes me wonder if she's using AI, which either way, I don't care. It was awesome. I loved the fact
she had to have
she was
typed in some keywords.
Well, yeah, you have to type in the keywords, but it does the whole thing for you. That's what you do. You just type in the words, write me a song about these words, and it does it. So, yeah, I don't know if she did it or AI did it, but either way, I'm there for it. I thought it was really cool. Yes, really, really cool. I love the little bunny, but all I could think was all the little shit pellets that had to be all over the floor.
Everywhere. Oh my God. That's all I could. I was like hyperventilating when I'm watching this bunny. I'm like, oh my God, because they shit like every 2 hops.
Yeah, like, he's as cute as he could be.
Pebble, hop, pebble.
I would have to put a little bunny diaper on him if he was going to be roaming the house with clients.
I'm sure they have them, because they do. I have found duck diapers and chicken diapers for my
surely there's bunny diapers
or feathery friends, and so there's got to be rabbit diapers. There's ones for dogs,
right? Yeah, I mean, there's diapers for just about anything. Surely you could figure it out. But he's a cutie. I mean, it's such a cute little rabbit. Makes me want a rabbit. There are some people that live across the main road and about 4 blocks down from one of our many places. And they have rabbits that live in their yard, that like a big, beautiful black rabbit, long-eared black rabbit, a solid white rabbit that look kind of like Wade Wilson, but a little bigger. And then they have a white one that's got some black on him. They just have a hutch in their yard, and they go in the hutch, whenever they want to, but they roam the neighborhood. And it freaks me out every time I see these rabbits. Sometimes they'll just be laying like in the street, not in the middle of the street like a dog would necessarily, but like right over against the curb. And I always wonder, oh God, did it get hit? But no.
Did it get hit? Is it
they're chilling? Yeah. No, they're just chilling. They're so cute. It freaks me out though that they just leave them out.
That's
They
funny.
just live outside. Just live outside.
Do they not understand that there's things called coyotes and everything else that roams just about every neighborhood and every state and every city of every part of this nation?
I actually think I saw one not long ago in the neighborhood at night. I was coming in at night in different neighborhood, but I thought I saw one, in the middle of a city. And I was like, oh, see, they do exist.
Oh, I've seen 2 foxes. So
I have a couple of foxes in one of our neighborhoods too. I love the foxes. One of them is red and one of them is gray.
Yeah.
Little gray fox is real cute. And here we go again with, Kirsten and Shaq and this whole conversation about her supporting him.
God, I'm so over it.
Oh my God. I mean, the hamster wheel with this shit. Why? And I understand.
It reminds me of our UK couple that could not let go of the whole fucking vegan shit. But anyway.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Like, one of them needs to sit down and break it down for the other one. And I don't really care which one it is. One of them needs to, because she thinks she's supporting him and he's not seeing it. So she either needs to point out to him, these are the things that I am doing that I believe are of support to you, and you're not receiving them. So tell me what I need to do. Or he needs to tell her, these are the things specifically that I need from you. You're saying you're supportive. However, I need it in this way versus the way you're doing it. That breakdown of communication is just, oh my God, we cannot get off this fucking hamster wheel. We cannot get off of it. And it's going to be the demise of their relationship completely if they don't have this conversation. Why is the conversation so hard? I don't get it. It seems like, I don't know, basic 101 relationship. I don't know.
Oh,
it should be.
Should be.
Well, at least we finally find out why it's taken so long for them to meet the dad. He didn't want to film. And that may be the case with her entire family. Maybe none of them wanted to film.
Yeah. Some people just don't want to be in the limelight. They don't want to be recognized. They don't want their everyday life interrupted.
Yeah, which I understand, especially if this relationship doesn't work out and then now you've been put out there on TV and people are going to approach you for however long, however long they recognize you. And I can understand it. I can definitely understand it.
Oh, yeah.
And if, they apparently were finally able to get at least enough clearance to go meet dad without filming. I'm sure that, with their contractually, they probably couldn't do it with everyone. They probably made that one exception to try and get this, marriage off the ground or to stick, whatever. Speaking of singing, I'm glad we finally got to find out why Mac slid into Gina's DMs. We have been seeing this trailer for weeks, and weeks, alluding to the fact that, he slid in her DMs. And as usual, it wasn't anything,
It wasn't anything sketchy or any of that.
Although I do think that he used that a little bit as an excuse to see if she would even respond to him.
Yeah.
See, kind of feel the waters, test the waters, put his toe in and see, how she felt about him contacting her.
Oh yeah.
Mac. And what it's kind of funny that we keep seeing Mac in the gym. It makes me wonder, did they get a sponsorship from Mayweather Gym and that's what they are, how they're getting the plug in there?
That's what I'm wondering. They may have.
I tell you what, those gyms are really nice. I've been in one in Florida, and they're very nice facilities.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I found a gym that I want to go check out that is on the way to my physical therapy. And what they've done is they've taken an old, either like mechanic place or something that has multiple garages.
Oh.
And so the whole thing's inside workout, and it's on the nice days they have those doors rolled up. And so
that would be awesome.
Everybody's got the fresh air flowing, working out. And I'm like, I want to go there.
No kidding. That sounds awesome.
Like, I've got a Y membership and I go there, but I'm thinking, I want to go here.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very nice. when we do have
Yeah.
nice weather. Oh,
And they
that
have
sounds
all the
wonderful.
stuff like the long ropes that you swing up and down. So it
Mhm.
might be very similar to the one that we're seeing them
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Those are very nice gyms. Very nice gyms. Something I was thinking of and I just lost it. I hate it when that happens.
No.
Oh well.
I'm starting to
It'll
act
come
like I'm
back.
getting about to get the hiccup, so this could be fun. So go on.
I wish I could remember
fighting
what
it.
it was I was going to say, but I don't. It'll come back. Whatever it is,
That's
it'll come back.
fine. That's fine. Who
Okay.
do you want to go on to next?
Chris and Nicole. All right.
Yeah.
So they go on this date with a private chef, Chance. I was laughing at her and her making the creme brulee a fucking competition. She has to make everything a competition. Reminds me of my kids. My kids are the same way. They cannot get together without competing about something. It doesn't matter what it is, whether they're dropping and doing freaking, what do you call them? Push-ups, squats, running from one end of my house to the other. Yes, whatever it is. I can't remember what they did this weekend when we got together. And we got everybody together for birthdays, May birthdays. And that was a challenge, just getting everyone in the same space. But we did it, and that was great. But yeah, she is hilarious with her competitiveness. I hope that he learns to embrace that about her.
They're another couple that is like are starting to drive me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about the train. Y'all are gonna have to just listen to it.
I can't hear it.
Studio's almost done though. No, it's getting ready to hit. You'll hear it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'm getting tired of seeing them. It's like I realize how much we all want and need like some kind of conflict when we're watching these reality TV.
Yep.
And this is a couple that is so well suited that it's boring.
Yeah, it really is. Well, I'm almost starting to wonder though if it's not going to unravel. I'm really starting to wonder if it's not going to unravel at the very end, because Chris's push to wait until after decision day to do anything about this move, that's what prompted me to look and see how much time they had. Because
to see if there's something going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. To see if he's not really kind of putting the brakes on and wondering if he can see himself dealing with her for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah.
True. It's really making me wonder. The other thing is, both of them have their own place. And I realize that they have, the dog situation. They've had to deal with the dogs for the last 8 weeks. They've had to work around the dogs for the last 8 weeks. Why is this such a problem? Why can't they just hunker down in one place or the other for however many weeks it takes until, till they find a house? That is really making me question whether or not this relationship is going to make the long haul. And I actually did see in that same tabloid article they kind of had a update as to where everyone is, and I didn't read through them all because I don't like to know what the outcome
don't
is
want
to
to spoil, or especially when we're this close to the end.
Exactly. But they did, the one thing I did see, and I didn't read any more about it, was it just said still, what was it? What was the word? Not amicable. Still friendly is what it said. Still friendly. And so that made me wonder. And now I saw still friendly and something about their social media being very private. So it could just be that they are being very private and not letting any, outside influence or letting their life out. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And then we've also got Jasmine and Eris.
Oh, I really think they're blossoming.
I do too. I'm more and more every episode getting more and more hopeful that they do give this a chance outside of the cameras, because I think it is causing him a lot of pressure. I think it is a pressure cooker that he's not as suited for as he thought he was going to be. and the fact that he's really like learning about himself and learning about intimacy and the difference between emotional intimacy and sexual intimacy, that is huge growth in a person. And even if they don't work out, what he has gotten from this process, whenever he does find the right match for him, they're going to get a really good heiress. They're going to get an heiress that we did not see in the beginning. He has grown.
Yeah, because he's learning so much about relationships.
He is. I mean, he has really taken
process.
Yep. He's taken it very seriously. I'm impressed with him. I am really impressed with him. He's a pretty good dude. You know, we thought of him as just a playboy, fuckboy who had it for his cousin. Or she has it for him or whatever. And I'm glad we haven't seen any more of her. Yeah, me too.
I know. I did not like her.
Nope. She could have really caused big problems.
I don't. I mean, like, there is a difference, in my opinion, between looking out for somebody and having their back.
Yeah.
And just trying to check in and make sure, are you doing the right thing? Is this really what? Because just from personal life experiences with you, I can't see this, but I'm trying to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that right. No. I mean, I think she's just like straight up snotty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like she just was like ready to just pick Jasmine apart. And what did this girl do to her?
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You're coming in and attacking somebody because she was by, you know, you're doing pageant answers. You're doing this or that. And I really, you know, that was not fair to
it wasn't.
do stuff like that.
Not fair at all.
Yeah. I don't know. So
I'm
glad we are not seeing her.
I know. Me too. She would have really caused big problems. She could have caused big problems. Okay. So speaking of Jasmine, the end of the episode, they all go line dancing and they're all getting hit on by that group of guys. First off, do you think that group was sent in by production? Do you think that was all set up?
I do. I think that was a complete setup. And they're supposed to be the strippers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're male strippers. The male dance review. And so it's like, but I think production kind of like coerced them into.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, they show her trying to record.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy's just like right up in it.
Yeah.
Now,
he had no problem.
Yeah. If production didn't have a hand in it and they would have been like removing
back
people,
off.
Please back off. We need this kind of this. We don't want when we're recording anything interfering with sound, etc. Even though I'm sure we know they have better stuff than, you know, all of us. But, you know, point is,
still,
I think that, I think production had very much something to do with that.
I do too. I definitely do. I think it was all a setup. And to see how the women, you know, react, create a little interest, a little drama. Jasmine's response did make me go, okay, well, you know what? Maybe she is thinking about, you know, ending this and saying no on decision day. And she and Eris both were talking about how they're comfortable with, you know, with their decisions, that they're at peace with their decisions. And using the word at peace to me says I'm okay with stepping away. Yes. Yeah. I'm okay with the fact that I'm going to be walking away from this. I feel like I've given it all that I can and I'm going to be walking away. So I feel like that was a little bit telling. But yeah, that guy pissed me off. I'm like, get off of her. Like, back the fuck up. Back up. Don't be interrupting. Rude. And what's a 740? Do you know what a 740 is? Me either. Because he's like, I got the 740 outside. I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I'm so out of touch with the world. I swear it's sad.
I don't know, probably some vehicle, like,
that's what I was thinking.
Like back in the day when it was the Chrysler 300 that
maybe it's a Mercedes or some
it might be. That sounds like a Mercedes kind of thing.
It does, right? Okay, I'm gonna look real quick.
Yeah, you look really quick. Talk while you're doing that. I'm gonna mute my mic for a minute so I can scream at kids and everybody doesn't have to listen. So,
okay, all right, everybody, we're gonna use the Google and see what is a 740 because Sarah Rhodes is an idiot.
I'm back.
Okay. Oh, it's a BMW. It's a BMW.
Okay. Well, BMW, Mercedes, they're not foreign. They're foreign cars. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah. Okay. The BMW 740 7 Series, they've made them since 1977. It's a sedan. It looks like every other fucking BMW to me. I'm not a fan of BMWs. My husband is. He and I are complete opposites. He likes the BMWs and I like Mercedes. I think BMWs look like every other car out there. I don't know. There's nothing about them that has never really interested me.
Anymore, I think every like damn branding all looks alike. It's like
they do.
I have a Kia. My Kia looks like every other Kia.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, there's some nice looking Kias out there.
Yeah.
There are some really, really pretty Kias out there. And is it Kia that makes the Telluride, the big SUV? Oh, I would love to have one of those. If I were going to buy a new car, that's probably what I would buy. Sadly, I wouldn't buy something high dollar. I would buy a Kia Telluride, and then I would buy me a.
Well, and Kia is not that cheap either, but it's not Mercedes, but
exactly. I love them. I think they're really, really cool.
Mine's been so reliable, so I can't complain.
Exactly. I would have a new Kia, and then I would have an old VW bus modified into an automatic for me. It could be an automatic stick, but it would still have, without the clutch. But those would be like my two dream cars. If I could do whatever I wanted, that's what it would be.
Well, this guy and his trying to impress her with a 740 or whatever.
With his BMW. Lord have mercy.
Whatever, dude.
She seemed a little interested, though. That was my point. Is she did seem a little curious.
Well, when you've been going through a relationship, I think it is. It's like that episode that we did where we talked about flirting and harmless flirting, and the fact that there's a lot of people out there that even though they're in relationships, they still need that validation, that affirmation that they, hey, you're with somebody, but you still got it.
Exactly.
So,
and I think that's okay.
You can't help but smile when you get affirmation from anywhere. So I think,
harmless.
Not on his end, but on her end.
Right. Yeah. Okay. You want to move on and talk about UK?
Sure.
All right. Let's do it. Okay.
Let's jump that fucking pond so I can rip.
We're swimming. So
I can rip some people's heads off.
Oh my God.
That was a drama-filled shit show.
It was. I mean, from the very beginning with Thomas and Adrian talking about how Thomas feels like April and Whitney are completely fake. And I'm sorry, in a lot of ways, I agree with him. The fact that those two are friends in itself tells me there's something wrong.
Whitney's very fake. I think Whitney's fake. April, I'm like, I don't know. I teeter the fence on that. Because there are just some people who are just have that kind of mannerisms. And it may not necessarily mean that they're a fake person.
Right. I don't think she's fake necessarily. I think she's the type of person that sways with whoever she's with. If she's with this person, if this person's her friend, she's going to lean their way. If this person over here is her friend, she's going to lean that way. I don't necessarily think she has the strength to have a solid opinion and stance of her own. I think she's very easily swayed, and that a lot of times can come across fake, but it's not. She's not fake.
Know what I would use for them? Instead of the term fake, I would say plastic.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Especially Whitney. Whitney is so plastic.
Whitney annoys the fuck out of me. I don't like her. There's nothing about her that I like. I'm just a girl.
Like a Whitney.
Oh my God. She should live in the valley.
I know, right?
She drives me fucking nuts. Yeah. Yep.
I can't stand watching her. I can't stand listening to her talk, especially how she rolls her eyes up into the top of her head.
I want to smack her.
Yeah.
Girl.
I'm there with you.
Oh my God. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I want to play like I am of the tribe Slapaho.
Yep. So, everybody shows up to this retreat, and, last week they had the, would you twist, would you stick, would you do this, would you do that? And I right then felt bad for Gemma when Whitney said Matt, and it was obvious that there was more to her statement than just, I think this guy's hot, because that in itself should be pretty benign. We all look at people and go, well, okay, if I had to choose, it would be this one or that one. Yeah. But there was definitely more. It
was very loaded.
Very loaded. That's exactly it. That is exactly it. It was extremely, extremely loaded.
It was a loaded answer.
And, a lot of their answers were, like we're talking about that whole scenario, and like Jonathan, everybody's saying, he's the one that they wouldn't want to be married to. And I understand, he is
arrogant,
way too honest, arrogant, all of those things. We talked about it last week, how just because you're being honest doesn't necessarily give you the right to be an asshole. And a couple of things he said in this episode that it hurt my heart. I can't imagine how it hit for Sophie. Is like him saying that he doesn't feel like that passion and that sexual chemistry with her, yet they were sexually active like right away on the honeymoon.
Right out the gate. Yep.
That has got to not feel good. And for her to handle it as graciously as she has, I don't know how she does it. It would be very hard. I would have cried.
I really like her. I really like her. And I didn't know if I was going to like her because, when we were introduced to her, she was like, I'm a materialistic girl and I'm living in my materialistic world. And I was like thinking, oh God, here we go. Another superficial person. And she turned out to not be that way.
Not at all.
In my opinion.
Not at all. I think she was smart in putting that out there front and center. And then she could you come back from it rather than trying to put off the persona that you're not any of those things. And then you looking like you are. She was very smart in looking
very
like she was.
Strategic on how she played herself. And
very
that's a good
smart.
thing.
I like it. I like it. So, we moved from there to the dinner party, and right away, Duca and, not Duca, I'm sorry. Jordan and Shanita are picking up on what's going on with Matt.
I love how they sit and just talk, like kind of low key, loud enough for some people to eavesdrop, but not too loud. And they like straight up talk about anything. And I like that.
I do too, because they're not afraid who hears.
But you know, I don't care.
Yep. The fact that Gemma, I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts straight.
I don't blame Gemma for feeling the way she did on feeling like, what the fuck? Everybody else is knowing and seeing things. And I am left in the dark. And that's just it. I think I really believe her in the sense that behind closed doors, off camera, I'm sure he was probably acting like there was hope.
Oh, he had to be.
He had to have been, because the way that my opinion is formed about her, I don't think she's the kind of woman that would just sit around if she wasn't given hope.
Right. Yep. I agree. There had to be something there for her to have caught any kind of feelings for him. The fact that it's kind of come out, towards the end of the episode where after day 2 of the honeymoon, they were basically separated, that they were not spending any time together or whatever. In 2 days, she gathered that much information about him to form an opinion that she liked him, that there was something there. I don't buy it. I think he's putting that out there to justify whatever shit he's had going on with Whitney. I think that this started way back, probably right. Well,
when
maybe not
met.
At the honeymoon, but as soon as they met at that first dinner party.
They went to that first dinner party. What was it, like the day after coming back from the honeymoon?
Yep.
And I think that, yeah, I agree. I think that's when it started and it sparked.
I think so too. And I think Matt is feeding her a bunch of shit, telling Whitney, we weren't together. You know, he's doing kind of a Sandoval thing and setting it up like, you know, there's a completely different situation going on than what there actually is. I'm glad that Gemma didn't stay alone at this retreat. I'm glad that Thomas and Adrian took her in because she needs support. She needs somebody, you know, around to kind of help pick her up because this is a shit situation. I mean, this whole situation is just fucking terrible. Absolutely
Let's go ahead
terrible.
And jump to after the argument. Okay, so there was that whole argument at the meal and everything. A lot of, you know, him all of a sudden acting like, well, you know, hey, you should have known, blah, 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 kind of behavior and everything. So we've got all that going on. And Gemma's blindsided and, you know, upset and hurt and pissed. And she's wanting fucking answers. He's not giving the answers. And I just, next thing you know, we're at the bridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whitney and him just stroll off. And it was poor Duca. Okay, let's not even just say Gemma. What about poor Duca? Who is like straight up been fighting for this?
Yep.
And so it's like, how did the two of them wander off like that without, you know, I don't know. And they blatantly had a set up, like they made sure that they were seen in a light of like, oh, let's meet at this bridge. And you know, cameras are going to catch us. And there's a beautiful sunset. And
Oh yeah. The whole thing.
Let's try to show this like romantic, you know, hot,
I'm just
steamy,
a boy standing on a bridge looking at a girl. I'm just like, oh my God, y'all are disgusting.
That's what pisses me off. So this brings up the point of what you were talking about, feeling like you're being a hypocrite, because this is a completely different scenario, in my opinion, because if we match people from a show and think they should hook up with others, I know, me personally, it's something that I would like to see happen after the show. After the show, you know, after you've done everything and tried everything you can and explored whatever, and then break ways, then meet up and do this. Don't try to do it on camera. That's cheating.
It is cheating. It is totally cheating. The only way that I would be okay with that happening during filming is if both couples were looking at the situation and going, you know what, we aren't connecting, but I see something between you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I see the way you and so look at each other, and I ship it. I endorse it. Do you think
that Gemma and him actually had sex on the honeymoon? Do you think?
I do. I actually do.
Because that's the only way I can think that she would be getting feelings.
I do.
And if not, if we're wrong, fuck you, dude. How dare you go and while this is going on and sleep with Whitney when you wouldn't even try to kindle that with your wife?
I know. And then I don't know.
Can fuck off.
Yeah, right. Right. This whole, you know, we're just not going to feel bad about the fact that we've had, you know, a connection. And when she says something, I can't remember if it was at the dinner party. Oh no, I think it was in there talking to the experts about how, you know, we've all been in relationships where we've held on a little too long, and, you know, just saying shitty shit. Like, she's just an awful person. She is an awful fucking person. And so is he. And in reality, we should be glad that they found one another, but I'm not, because these people have gotten hurt in the process, and they just don't seem to have any care or compassion for what they're doing, what they're saying, and how it's hurting one another. And poor Gemma was the last to know. Like, everybody's talking about this, everybody's seeing this, and no one has come to her and said, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's being said, how do you feel about it? do you need emotional support? Do you need me to sit with you? Do you need, what can we do to help you? I would feel very alone. And the way that she attacked him at the dinner party was like, sit down, sit the fuck down. I understand that was a big reaction, but he is one of these men, kind of like we were talking about narcissists yesterday. He's one of these people that push and push and push and push and push and push. And then when the person they're pushing finally reacts in a huge way, they go, see what they did? They're out of control. And it's like, no, motherfucker, you have pushed to the point that now she's crazy. You've made her crazy. And that's your doing. Yeah. That's your doing. That's not hers. That's yours. You have created all this in her, and it's not fucking fair at all. Not at all. So, we get to the dinner party and we go on to the commitment ceremony, and we're there again with crap. We are there again with Jonathan trying to explain himself, I guess. I'm glad that the experts were kind of trying to rein him in and let him see what he's doing. And the fact that the one guy flat out said, you lack emotional intelligence. Yeah. I hope that if nothing else, sparked something in him for him to fucking Google emotional intelligence and figure out what that is.
Figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I like that they were putting him in his place.
Me too. He needs it. And I hope that the fact that Sophie is willing to cut him some slack, again, it just shows how gracious she is. And she's got a lot of patience. There's obviously something that she sees in him that she's willing to see if he can overcome this shit that he's doing. And he may, I talk about my husband all the time. He was kind of that way when we first, got together. He was an asshole. I mean, he'll tell you I'm an asshole. But it was because he didn't have the tools. Nobody had ever sat down with him and said, this is the better way to handle this. Yes, you can feel that way and that's okay. But, you got to see how what you're doing is affecting other people. I was cracking up though at Kwame when he's like, we're done. I think we're good. Yeah.
I think we're good. Yeah, we don't need you anymore. We don't need to be in the show. And they're looking at him like, you do. There's still some life lessons and relationship tools that we need to give you to succeed out of this.
I love how
you don't just get to go like, oh, I'm done.
I'm done. Occasionally looks at him like, no. I'm not there. She was
not
totally
like a
blindsided.
Plate of food.
Right. Yeah.
You finish and it's time to get the fucking goddamn check.
I was cracking the fuck up. I was like, well, that's my presumptuous of you there, Kwame.
Oh no. But I did like
that from one extreme to the other here.
Yeah. With that being said, though, on the same hand, I'm really glad that he is comfortable and feeling like they have succeeded and, they're succeeding. Like he can love her. Yeah. Because that's what his whole thing was waiting. He won't do this or this until he feels this. He obviously feels it now.
Yeah. Yeah. He's gotten there. He's finally gotten there. It gives me hope for them. I don't know. I would like to watch. I would like to just see like a couple of hours of them in their home, the way that they interact with, like a fly on the wall kind of situation. Yeah. Because they both have very big, strong personalities. And anyway, I just think it would be a funny dynamic to watch.
I think it would be dynamic
to watch. Okay. So moving on back to, we can discuss Thomas and Adrian real quick. They are coming along really, really nicely. I like that I
love seeing him smoochy.
Yep. He is really starting to embrace Adrian for who Adrian is. And I think is starting to rein himself in a little bit as to not put so much on Adrian of having to, constantly care for him. He's starting to take Adrian's feelings into consideration. And I like this. I like this couple a lot, a whole lot.
And I was really wondering if they were going to be able to pull it off from the get-go.
Me too.
And then now I'm feeling like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I see what the panel saw.
Yeah, why they put them together. Yeah, me too. Me too. And then we've got George and April letting, people get in their heads again. Like that's what I'm saying about April and George as well. I don't think either one of them have the self-confidence maybe to keep their feelings and opinions strong. They're so easily swayed, so easily influenced by the outside world. And they really do need to put that shield up and just stop taking other people's thoughts and feelings and opinions on as their own. And I think they might be okay. They might be okay. Just don't talk to others about your relationship. I think that's the best thing that they could do. And then Zoe and Jenna.
I'm just saying, there we go. It has to be an episode where you have, an issue with some kind of verbiage. Verbiage. I forget names, and you have verbiage
swap them
issues.
Up.
Yeah,
I do. I really do. Oh God, they're still trucking along. I don't know. I still don't see them having a lasting marriage. I just don't. I see them having a friendship at the end of this, maybe to some degree.
I think they're having a good time, and that's about all it is.
That's about it. Yeah. Zoe was saying we still haven't had a proper laugh. We're still not like BFF status. And Jenna's responses or, take on the whole thing at this point is, I want to see what it's like to live with someone. And so he's like, isn't that what we're doing? She's like, yeah, but I know.
Yeah, it's like, haven't we been living together now for the last few weeks? What have we been doing?
Here? Yeah, what are we doing?
Where have you been?
Yeah, but hey, at least they're still giving it a go.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan and Sophie, sticking together, giving it a go. All right, so Whitney and Matt, do you feel like they okay, they said we didn't share a bed until after everything had come out. You still shared a bed. Like, in what world is that okay? How are you justifying this to yourself?
The fact that they justify anything, and the fact that they want to now, like when we're at the meeting with the panel with the doctors, the therapists, whatever, and they're having their talks with them, the fact that those two are very openly voicing their affection for each other and everything. And it was like, they just completely ignored the other two people. The two of them were too busy talking about how much they feel for each other and they connect for each other and how they want to still be in the process.
Right.
But together, I will be very, very, very disappointed if they're allowed to stay. Because I think it's something they should be experiencing outside. I don't care. Hook them up with some resources.
Right.
Where they can get like counseling, marriage counseling or whatever, but no. Because I will tell you this much. If they are allowed to stay, I probably will skip over everything with them because I don't want to see it.
Right. I know. I agree with you. It pisses me off too, because, like we were saying, this is where, it sounds hypocritical wanting to see some couples together on other,
but I want to see them outside of the show, not outside of the show. I don't want the process disrespected.
Right. And that's just it. The way Zoe said, you've disrespected one another and you've disrespected the process. That's exactly it. I mean, you have just completely not given two shits as to how this is all supposed to go down. You've not given two shits about how much you're hurting the other people on the other side. Like,
they don't put bad people on these shows. There's some kind of good quality about every person that they bring on.
Yep.
They're not going to just let some horrible, heinous person on a show.
No. Well, they have, but I think accidentally. I think they're really good fucking liars. Yeah. But the fact that they're, I am all for finding, I want them to find, their match, but they have been so awful I mean, just awful. The fact that Whitney's like, you never let me talk, woman. Every time I talk, you cut me off. Well, you can't fucking blame her. Here again, look at what you're doing. You are literally fucking
their
her
couch. Yeah,
yes.
husband. And you're butting into their couch time. Yeah, exactly.
That's still her husband. He's not yours. He belongs to her. He was matched with her. You cannot expect her to just be like, oh, well, say la vie. He doesn't like me. He likes you. Okay. Fuck that. Fuck all of that. Yeah. And actually, I'm surprised that Duca hasn't had more to say.
I think he's a little bit blindsided or in denial. I think that we probably will hear more out of him in the next.
I think he's in shock. The initial, just shock. Like, what the fuck? Or maybe in disbelief. Maybe, a lot of people like to downplay things in their head. Yeah. Pretend that things haven't happened that have actually happened. I bet once he goes back and watches this as it is airing, what he's going through right now as it's airing is probably really hard on him. The reality of seeing it back, seeing its entirety, seeing him or seeing Matt in bed, with his wife, just seeing a completely different Whitney.
Yeah.
The Whitney that he didn't get at all. It's unfortunate. The whole thing is unfortunate. It's pissing me off. And I really, really hope the clip that we see of the male expert saying, I can't remember his name, but I can never remember his name. Saying, I cannot endorse you, coming back into the process. I hope that it's not one of these clips that's put in to make us think that they're not going to allow it, but then they really are. I hope it's not one of those situations, because I'm with you. I will be very pissed off if they allow them to continue on.
Yeah, you're basically glorifying and condoning an affair.
Yeah, exactly. So I am just going to say that's where we're at for this episode. We will pick back up with you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is just a BS day. And then on Friday, we will come back with recapping Vanderpump, You, Me, and My Ex, and I don't even know what else. All right, everybody, you guys have a great rest of your afternoon, morning, night, whatever time you're listening to us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Sarah, ramble that shit.
All right, here we go. We are now available on Patreon. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can get bonus episodes, extended episodes, and join in on future fun events. You can follow us on all social media. We are FUKING Reality Queens on Facebook because, well, fuck Facebook. We are available on Twitter at FRQ_Amelia Sarah. We are Fucking Reality Queens on TikTok and Snapchat. You can visit us on our website at www.fuckingrealityqueens.com. You can also send us an email at podcast@fuckingrealityqueens.com. Please leave us a comment or question on our Contact Us page. We absolutely love receiving those. And also leave us a 5-star rating, rate, follow, review, wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, Fucking Reality Queens is a Whaley production.
Wicka wicka wah wah. And that's a wrap.